Yeah, I know they've been advertising it. Get on the big marquee out on 441 and. Mhm.
October 24th, Planning and Zoning
The
Commission
broadcast is
meeting.
now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Start that again. I will call the October 24th meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order at 7 p.m. Before we get started with the agenda and other items, I just want to take a moment This commission just found out that one of our longtime commissioners that was on this with us, David Leland, who's been with us over 5 years, just passed away last night.
David.
Phil, sorry, Philip Marquis. Sorry, man.
You're
Sorry.
really getting at me tonight. huh?
Sorry, yeah. Phil got me. Yeah, he's currently he is the vice chairman. A good guy. Enjoyed many a meeting with him. We will miss him. If we could all have a moment of silence for him, please. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I have some introductory remarks. Hello and welcome. I'm Chair Adam Miller, and I will be presiding over this meeting. As we begin, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items for remote participation. Public comment will be solicited during each actionable agenda item. Once I ask for public comment on an item, please click Raise Hand in the GoToWebinar in order to make public comment. Before being individually identified, all members of the public will be muted. Village staff will announce the speaker by stating their name and unmute their audio to allow up to 3 minutes of public comment. When called, please state your name and address for the record and proceed with your comment, speaking clearly during your allotted time. Do not use the chat or question function in GoToWebinar, as these functions will not be monitored during the meeting. And please, please limit background noise to the extent possible. As a reminder, this meeting can be viewed live on Comcast Local Channel 18 or streamed at royalpalmbeach.com/YouTube. Okay, if everyone join me in the pledge to the flag, Commissioner McClellan's going to lead it. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, Commissioner McClellan. Okay, Sarah, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, you can. Okay, we have Chairman Adam Miller.
Here.
Vice Chairman Philip Marquis. Commissioner David Leland.
Here.
Commissioner Lauren McClellan.
Here.
Commissioner Kara Derry.
Here.
And we have alternate one, Kamar Williams.
Thank you, Sarah. First order of business is the minutes from the September 18th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes from last meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Williams. Bless you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes pass 5-0. Okay. First application number 23-085 AAR, Once Upon a Child sign. The applicant, Chem Signs and Service, Inc., is requesting architectural approval for a wall sign for a property located at 10323 Southern Boulevard. Mitty?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is the applicant present? Thank you, ma'am. Could you come to the podium over there and give me your name for the record? Thank you, ma'am. Is that microphone in front of you? Is the light on in front of it?
Now it is.
Perfect. There you go. Thank you so much. I'm going to swear you in. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. I'll swear just you. I'll swear you in at the same time. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you both, and I'll turn back to the commission for ex parte disclosures on this item.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Josie? He's running the other way. Ma'am, while we're waiting, what was your name again?
Maria Morales.
Morales. Ms. Morales, thank you.
Good evening, Chair. Thank you. So, everybody can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. The application before you is 23-085 AAR. The applicant is requesting architectural approval for a wall sign for a property located at 10323 Southern Boulevard. The proposed design of the sign is consistent with the registered trademark for Once Upon a Child, which is a children's clothing store. This slide illustrates the existing wall facade and the proposed sign on the wall. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-085AR as submitted. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Morales, do you have a presentation? You'd like to say anything?
Nope, this is just a new tenant going into the building, and we're just trying to get their signage. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Commissioner Derry?
No questions or comments.
Commissioner Leland?
No.
I have none. Nope. Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment on this item. Do we have anyone online, Sarah? Okay, thank you. I'll close the floor to public comment. And do we have a motion on this item?
I move approval of application number 2385AR.
Motion made by Commissioner McClellan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Morales.
Thank you.
Okay, application number 23-115AR, Paint Lux Facade Painting. The applicant Vincent Kafer of HM2V Inc. on behalf of AMG Business Enterprises LLC is requesting architectural approval to repaint an existing warehouse building for a property located at 500 Royal Plaza Road. Committee?
Is anyone for this application? I don't believe he's here. Mr. Kafer is supposed to be here, so if the chair is okay, if we could proceed to item 3 and come back to this in the event that he's just running a few minutes late.
No problem.
Thank
Happy
you,
to do
sir.
so. Okay, application number 23-023 SPM Duffy's Outdoor Seating Expansion. The applicant MPLD Consulting on behalf of Crestwood Square LTD is requesting a major site plan modification to expand the outdoor seating dining area from 300 square feet to 1,320 square feet at the existing Duffy Sports Grill within Crestwood Square for a property located at 11935 Southern Boulevard. Committee, back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As was the case in the previous item, this is a quasi-judicial hearing, so I need to swear anybody in who's going to be speaking on this agenda item tonight. If you could raise your right hands, I'll swear you all in at once, and then you can lean into the microphone and give your names for the record after I swear you in. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
Rebecca
you.
Miller.
Thank you, ma'am.
I do. Tyler Schultz.
I do. Brett Coleman.
Thank you. And then I'll turn back to the commission and ask for any ex parte disclosures on this first 23023 SPM item.
I spoke with him.
I spoke with the applicant.
I spoke with him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Josie, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The application before you is 23-023. The applicant is seeking a site plan modification to expand the outdoor seating dining area from 300 square feet to 1,320 square feet of the existing Duffy's Sports Grill within the General Commercial Zoning District for a property located at 11935 Southern Boulevard within the Crestwood Square Shopping Center. A little bit of history on this development. This site is part of an overall Crestwood Square development which was originally approved as a planned commercial development. The affected area of the development is currently and will remain a restaurant, Duffy's, of course. This slide illustrates the proposed site plan, the new 1,320 square foot covered outdoor seating dining area is highlighted in red. Access to the property currently exists on the south along Southern Boulevard and on the west along Crestwood Boulevard. This slide illustrates the proposed landscape plan. This slide illustrates the elevations for the proposed outdoor seating dining area. This is a rendering of what it's gonna look like. In reviewing this application, village staff considered conformity with Chapter 26 of the Village Code of Ordinances, specifically the proposed project meets the requirements for the General Commercial Zoning District and Section 26-61, the planned commercial development, as it pertains to parcel size, width, setbacks, pervious area, parking requirements, landscape areas, and maximum building height. And overall, the proposed site plan improvements meet all of the village requirements for this type of use in the general commercial zoning district. Staff is recommending approval of be submitted to Village Council regarding application 23-023 SBM and resolution number 23-40 with conditions of approval. We do want to read one of the conditions on the record. There are other ones, but we want to specifically read conditions, two site-specific conditions. Letter C, which is all noise or sound emitted from the restaurant and outdoor seating area and associated TV and other equipment therein must comply with the village noise ordinance and shall be consistent with and continually monitored and adjusted as provided, and the noise analysis provided within the applicant's justification statement. This concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, do you have a presentation or like to say anything?
We do have a presentation.
Have at it, sir.
Are you able to see our screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. So kind of just an opening slide showing our client Duffy's, developer Southeast Centers, ourselves MPLD Consulting, and our architecture firm Total Design. This is for our AAR approval and major site plan. And just to mention, we are here today for a major site plan due to the amount of amendments on this site. Granted, you might be wondering why we're here for just a 1,300 square foot outdoor seating area. That's pretty much why. But here's, again, the rendering that you saw. Just one of the things we went through with the staff is that the TVs need to be completely out of view from street so as to not distract drivers. We are going to tilt the TVs and have our awning covering that. So no issues there. Moving on, discuss that. And a little bit more of our scope. It is a 1,320 square foot in total outdoor dining area. This is mostly to appease our senior guests that come to Duffy's. At our other locations, we did notice that it was still a continued request to have some outdoor dining. COVID concerns and overall health with the extremely young or elderly, just want to have that option. And as it was brought up, one of our conditions is definitely our sound. Our management team will be completely monitoring everything going on as far as the decibels in our outdoor seating area via the minute noise monitoring system. Anytime we exceed 55 decibels, which is in the municipal code of Royal Palm Beach, we will immediately take action. And we have that on the next slide, I believe. That's our sound study, but yeah, we're gonna lower the TVs in volume. If our guests are getting any rowdy, which again, it's really not a bar setting, it's outdoor seating, dining, especially for our elderly guests. And worst case scenario, we're going to relocate our guests inside if they're consistently exceeding that decibel that is set in the Muni code. And this was a sound study that we did conduct. We did a comparable location in Port St. Lucie, more specifically St. Lucie West. They have an outdoor seating area very similar to ours, a little bit smaller, but the same amount of seats. And as you can see, the decibel levels are pretty similar. That's just based on our ambient levels right now on site versus theirs with the outdoor seating area. This was conducted at peak volume about 8 p.m. on a Thursday night, I believe. So we are not expecting to have the ambient levels exceeded whatsoever, but if we do, we do have that plan of action. And there again, we do have a plan of action on record with the staff as well. And just our last slide, just come with some of the economic impacts that Duffy's does provide to the village of Royal Palm Beach. There's some sales tax numbers there. As you can see, through Q3, we should be on par with the past 2 years. We employ 34, 35 or so hourly employees, so there is definitely still economic impact that we're providing. And just open any questions you guys may have.
Thank you, gentlemen. Commissioners, do we have any questions? We'll start with Commissioner Williams.
I do. For this minute noise monitoring system, how does it work?
It's an iPhone app actually, and they'll have it on the outdoor seating area at all times. Anytime that that 55 decibel level is exceeded, we'll take actions as far as, do we need to turn down the volume of the TVs? If there is music present, do we need to cut that out? If our patrons at that time are being a little noisy or exceeding that level, kind of give them a warning, or that we'll have to move them inside.
So would staff have to actively be walking with that phone to test certain areas, or do you have like a set, like, say, a receiver in each room to?
It would just be outside, so they'll have that set iPhone, and it will be set to managers. Anytime that it exceeds that 55, managers will receive notice.
Understood. Thank you.
Commissioner McClellan. I think it looks great. Appreciate the outdoor seating. I enjoy Duffy's. It's also for younger people too, not just old people. In case
Absolutely.
just pointing it out. So,
We
Commissioner.
will have our Super Bowls and everything inside on the full speakers.
Of course, that's going to get
You
loud.
have neighbors, don't want to get too crazy.
Commissioner Leland.
We love to see business expanding. That's good. And doing it the right way.
And we have a representative of Duffy's here tonight, so he's been great in participating in this entire application process and making every effort to comply with the city's requirements. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Derry, any comments?
No.
Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Anyone online? Okay. There's never anyone online anymore. I'd like to close the close the floor to public comment. And is there a motion on this item? Don't forget the additional condition Josu talked about.
And Josu, that would become a code enforcement issue at that point.
Correct. Yeah, that'll give us the ground to.
I'll make a motion that we accept application number 23-023 SPM,
With the additional conditions?
the additional condition attached.
Thank you. Motion made by Commissioner Leland. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations. We'll move on to the next item for you gentlemen. Application number 23-059 AAR, Duffy's Outdoor Seating Expansion. The applicant, MPLD Consulting, on behalf of Crestwood Square Limited, is requesting architectural and aesthetic review, AAR approval, for an expanded outdoor covered outdoor seating dining area at the existing Duffy Sports Grill within Crestwood Square for a property located at 11935 Southern Boulevard.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, that's a few too many outdoors in there. That's my apologies.
Yeah. We
The
need
applicants
23.
remain sworn in this matter as well, but I will ask for ex parte disclosures. Anybody else or anything additional that needs to be disclosed?
No.
Same communications as the previous for those of you who reported? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Josu?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Obviously, this is the AAR for the same application, so it's going to be the same information is provided. Application number 23-059. One thing to actually point out, the applicant did provide landscape plan, as you guys saw before, as well as new elevations for the affected area for the covered outdoor seating and dining. So this is the elevation. And this is the landscape plan associated with the AAR application. Staff recommends approval of application number 23-059 AAR as submitted. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, anything to add for this item?
Nope. We do have the matching paint colors and renderings that match the approved colors in the shopping center, but that's about all we have to add at this time.
Thank you. Okay. Go around, commissioners. Commissioner Derry, any questions, comments?
Nope.
Commissioner Leland? I have none. Okay. I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Okay. Okay, no one's still online. Okay. We'll close the floor to public comment. And do we have a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to approve application number 23-059.
Motion made by Commissioner Derry. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like me to go back to the other item, committee?
That's your call. You can proceed and call him at the end. That's fine.
We could just jump it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. We're going to go back to item number 2. So application number 23-115 AAR, Paint Lux Facade Painting. The applicant Vincent Kafer of HM2V Inc. on behalf of AMG Business Enterprises LLC is requesting architectural approval to repaint an existing warehouse building for property located at 500 Royal Plaza Road. Committee?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kafer, could you approach the podium over there, and I'll swear you in and have you state your name for the record. I know who you are, but the commission may want your name.
I do.
Other one. Right hand. Thank you, sir. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And your name for the record?
Vincent Kafer.
Thank you, sir. And I'll turn back to the commission for any ex parte disclosures on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The application before you is application number 23-115. The applicant's requesting architectural approval to repaint an existing warehouse building and monument sign for property located at 500 Rural Plaza Road. The proposed paint colors are, for accent color is pure white SW7005, and for the base color is Colonial Revival Gray SW2832. This slide illustrates the existing and proposed building with the new paint. This slide illustrates the existing and proposed monument sign with the new paint. Staff is recommending approval of application number 23-115 AAR with the following conditions of approval. The applicant shall provide the Village of Royal Palm Beach with written approval from Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership to repaint the existing monument sign. Such written approval shall include first a letter of authorization from Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership expressly authorizing the repainting as proposed in this application, application number 23-115, and second, a consent form executed by Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership. No painting or repainting of the existing monument sign shall occur until the village is in receipt of the written approval as specified within this condition. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I can answer.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kiefer, you have a presentation. You'd like to add anything?
No.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I could just very quickly, I think there was a modification to that condition of approval. If I could reread that into the record and just make sure that Mr. Kafer is in agreement with that. As Josu indicated, the monument sign that you see there on the screen is not actually on the site. This is part of a PCD, and it's, as you can see, there are other faceplates on it, so it's not specific to the Paint Lux facility. So we don't quite have everything we need to make sure that there are no other approvals necessary. So that's why the condition is being imposed. And let me just restate the condition as it was drafted, because I think I didn't hear part of it in what Josu said. So the condition would be that the applicant shall provide the Village of Royal Palm Beach with written approval from Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership, its successors or assigns, to repaint the existing monument sign. Such written approval shall include 1, a letter of authorization from Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership, its successors or assigns expressly authorizing the repainting as proposed in application 23-115, and 2, a consent form executed by Royal Industrial International Limited Partnership, its successors or assigns, or other legal documentation which the village attorney deems sufficient to authorize the applicant to repaint the monument sign. No painting or repainting of the existing monument sign shall occur until the applicant receives written village approval, of the written documentation. Mr. Kafer, are you okay with that condition?
Yes, I just have a comment to make. We exchanged some emails today, and also the owner's attorney as well.
I did speak with him on the phone for about a half an hour, and he sent me some documentation late in the day that I did not get a chance to review, so I left a message for him late in the afternoon.
Which I have here.
Right. I have not reviewed that, so I let him know the condition would be imposed tonight until I can review what he submitted.
If these proceeds, then the condition is going to be lifted.
Yes, it'll get resolved. I just need to ensure that what he provided is sufficient.
Okay.
So no objection to that condition.
No, not at all. I just want to make sure that you were aware.
I am, sir. Yeah, and I spoke with him, and I got an email late in the afternoon, so
Yeah, because
it'll get figured out. I just
they-
didn't get a chance to
yeah,
review it.
they own the property, and that company, Palm Beach
The Royal International.
Royal
Yeah.
International, they don't own it anymore, and that's the reason they cannot sign an authorization to paint the sign because they cannot sign about something they don't own. That's the question. Anyways, I understand. I'm in agreement with that. And,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
We'll move on with it.
Okay, I forgot where we were.
I think you had asked Mr. Kafer if he had a presentation. I don't believe he does. I think he's just here for questions. But if you have
No.
a presentation, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mitty. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Williams, Commissioner McClellan? I have none. Commissioner Leland, Commissioner, nope,
I think these updated colors will look great.
Thank you.
agreed. Okay, I open the floor to public comment. Oh, she's shaking her head no. Okay. Anyone online? Okay, I'll close the floor to public comment. Do we have a motion on this item? Please don't forget to say everything Mitty said.
Verbatim.
And Josu
Yes.
said verbatim. Do I have a motion?
You can just say with condition as stated by staff is sufficient. Thank you, sir.
I make a motion to approve application number 23-115 AAR with the conditions that staff have brought forth.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner McClellan, I think I heard. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, sir. Please get those conditions and everything in.
Sure will.
Thank
you
you.
so much. Appreciate
Thank you. Okay, last two items. First one is application number 23-093 VAR, Primrose School Sidewalk. The applicant, Bar Education, Inc., is requesting variance approval to allow for a variance to Village Code Section 23-49 B6B to provide a 4.7-foot wide sidewalk where Village Code requires a 6-foot pedestrian access way when parking is provided in the rear of the building. A variance of 1.3 feet for property located 300 and 400 Royal Commerce Road. Minnie?
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Could you state your name for the record?
Andrea Kaiser with Kaiser Legal here on behalf of Bar Education, Inc., 55 Southeast 2nd Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida.
Thank you, ma'am. And your counsel, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I don't technically need to swear you in. I'll turn to the commission then and ask for ex parte disclosures.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mitty. Josu?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The
Just a
applicant's-
point of order. The variance would make more sense if we talked about the site plan. Is there any chance we could do it in reverse?
You can speak about the site plan. The variance orders are always on the agenda first because the
Okay.
site plan is contingent on approval
Okay.
of the variance, but you can certainly speak to the site plan.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you. The applicant is requesting variance approval to allow for variance to Village Code Section 23-49B6B to provide a 4.7-foot wide sidewalk where Village Code requires a 6-foot pedestrian access way when parking is provided in the rear of the building for property located at 300 and 400 World Commerce Road. Highlighted in green is an illustration of the site plan showing the location where the required 6-foot sidewalk will be reduced to 4.7 feet wide. Village Code Section 26-32F6 allows the Village Council to grant variances to the code when special conditions and circumstances exist, which are peculiar to the land structure or building involved, do not result from the actions of the applicant, will not confer on the applicant any special privilege. Literal interpretation of the provisions of this division will deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure, will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this division, and will not be injurious to the area involved or detrimental to the public welfare. The applicant contends that special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the property and which are not applicable to other land structures or buildings subject to similar requirements. As noted above, the World Commerce Park was approved in 1984, and the existing buildings up on the property were originally constructed from 1984 to 1986, pursuant to the land use zoning regulations of nearly 40 years ago. As such, there are a number of existing site constraints upon the property that the applicant has endeavored to improve upon in designing the improvement to the property to support the Permo School of Royal Palm Beach. The existing playground on the south side of the building prevents placement of the pedestrian accessway connecting to the rear parking to the main building entrance at the front of the building in this location, so the pedestrian accessway must be placed along the northern portion of the building in order to meet that requirement of the code. Village staff generally agrees with the applicant and that given the current site constraints, special conditions, or circumstances does exist which are not applicable to other lands, granting of the variance will not confer on the applicant any special privileges that are denied to other lands. The literal interpretation of the code does not deprive the applicant the rights enjoyed by other lands in the same zoning district, and that is the minimum variance necessary to allow reasonable use of the property. Staff requests a recommendation of approval of application number 23-093 and variance order VC-23-07 be submitted to the Village Council. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Kaiser, do you have a presentation?
I do.
Okay.
And actually, I've consolidated my presentation tonight because actually talking about the site plan is actually justification for the variance. So even though you saved the best for the last tonight, it is the meatiest application. So I'm sorry I'm going to keep you here longer and not get you out here quickly. But if you could bear with me, I haven't had the pleasure of presenting in front of you and talking about this project at all. So I just want to make sure I give you a good overview so you have a full understanding of the color and context for our request. So I sent my presentation to IT. Oh, there I am. Right there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. So tonight I'm here presenting for a major site plan modification and architectural approval and a variance to that for the Primrose School of Royal Palm Beach. So just a very brief history. This location was formerly the Ideal School. And the Ideal School, most of you probably know it, it was around for a very long time, 1999 to 2001, a wonderful reputation for educating early learning students. In 1999, the Ideal School renovated the 400 building, which is on the left side in the photo. And then in 2008, they renovated the 300 building, which is in the right side of the photo. The 300 building served their middle school students, while the 400 building served their early learning students. In 2021, Bar Education acquired both buildings. The vision was to create an early learning and development training center. So in the future, in the 300 building, you're going to have Southeastern College, which is going to host an early childhood development program that graduates college students and from associates and a bachelor's. And they're going to get hands-on training at the early learning facility, which is in the 400 building. So in 2022, the 400 building was renovated, the interior was renovated to host the Primrose School of Royal Palm Beach. And the reason why Southeastern College, which was founded by the founders of Kaiser University, the reason why they chose Primrose Schools is because they are the leader in early learning. They have very similar values. They were founded in 1982. They're part of a national system of 450 schools in 32 states serving 60,000 children. They were the first educational childcare company to receive accreditation. They have a proprietary balanced learning curriculum, which incorporates the best of all early childhood development philosophies. It's updated yearly with the guidance of a team of early childhood experts who review and advise on new research and trends in high quality early learning. But most importantly, they're a community partner. They have a foundation where they've donated over $5 million to charities, and the Primrose School of Royal Palm Beach, when they do their charitable events, because it's an important part of the curriculum, they will be choosing a local nonprofit in Royal Palm Beach. So the upcoming event is the Can Drive, and they will choose a local nonprofit to donate the proceeds of that charitable fundraiser. You can see from the slide that the Primrose students demonstrated readiness for kindergarten. They excel, and like I mentioned previously, their involvement in the community. This is an aerial view of the development site. It's located, there are 2 parcels located between Seminole Palms Drive and Southern Boulevard, just east of Royal Palm Beach Boulevard. It's less than 2 acres. Its current use is a private academic institution. Its future land use designation is industrial, and its zoning district is industrial general. For those of you that had the opportunity to see the Ideal School, it was really out of this world amazing. They called it the Disney World of early learning schools. It was very colorful. It had a yellow brick road walkway in the center of the building. And that was all, it was really a beautiful school. However, and the Primrose schools used to incorporate those primary colors as part of their aesthetics in their program, but later research revealed that very, very colorful rooms and buildings actually distracted from implementing certain tasks in the curriculum. So Primrose has changed their model to still incorporate colors, but a more neutral feel. So this way, when the students are learning curriculum, they're not distracted by everything on the walls and on the ground. So I'm going to walk through these very quickly, but I did want to share with you the interior renovation of the Primrose School, which will explain why we're proposing these site plan modifications. So in the interior, this is our reception area and our conference room. This is our, these are our infant classrooms. The Primrose Schools vets every single piece of furniture and every single toy to make sure it's age appropriate and that it's safe for children. So even those rocking chairs that you see, the way they rock ensures that little fingers, when they're crawling on the ground, do not get crushed as it's rocking. This is our toddler rooms. The bathrooms are designed so the teachers have visibility when they're changing a diaper. There's actually a pull-out staircase under the changing table, so teachers don't have to carry children. They can walk them up the stairs, and it allows for a safe cleaning area while having enhanced visibility of their classrooms. These are our early preschool classrooms. You can see that we have different centers, a sensory center, an art center, a dramatic play center when they have free playtime outside of the curriculum. This is our preschool pathways room. This is for children that don't make the birthday cutoff, so they're older than the twos, they're older than the younger children, but younger than the older children, so they developed a very special classroom that continues to teach curriculum that's age appropriate. It's not too young for them and it's not too old for them, for those students that miss the birthday cutoff. This is our preschool room. This is when you start incorporating the science centers and the reading centers, our pre-K kindergarten rooms. That's when you start incorporating math and writing. And this is the exterior. And the reason why I presented you the interior pictures is because we want the interior to look as, we want the exterior to look as nice as the interior. And right now, you know, these buildings were developed in the 1980s. It's this, the pictures don't do it justice, but it's a really terrible brown color. Reminds me of awful things. The awnings are ripped, the buildings have weird writing on them, things are cracked. It needs improvement so it looks warm and welcoming for young children and families. So here is our site plan modification proposal. So part of our site plan modification request this evening is that we want to build a new, I'm going to take these in chunks here to you know, the items, I'm going to address them in groups so that are related to each other so they make more sense. But to start with, we want to build a new 162 square foot vestibule at the very entrance of the building. We want a new color scheme for the building, and we want to obviously update our floor plans. So if you take a look at, this is the existing entrance, and then the architectural drawings in this slide show the vestibule. The reason why the vestibule is important is it's actually part of the Primrose prototypes for a reason. It provides security, an additional layer of security, and also provides weather protection. You want a double entry in a preschool, and the reason is because when you have guests or families enter the vestibule, that door is unlocked so they can come into an area of shelter that has weather protection. But there's a second set of doors that enter the building, and not everyone's allowed to enter that building. Only if you're an authorized person, so if you're a parent, you're issued a very special code so we can know who's coming in and out of the building. Those parents that have a code can access the building. Anyone that doesn't have a code or is someone that's not authorized to pick up a child, they're not allowed in the building. That is or even guests or vendors who are coming on site or contractors on site. That is a holding area to allow non-authorized people to wait for a leadership team member to identify who they are, clear them, give them credentials, and then escort them in the building if they're allowed in the building. So it's an additional layer of security, and like I said, it's also weather protection for our families that are coming in from rain or from heat. So the vestibule is a part of the Primrose prototype for those various reasons. It also aesthetically will make the building look nicer in this area, less like a warehouse, and we'll talk later about the signage. These are the materials for the vestibule, so the color scheme that we want to paint the building. Now I heard from the previous application, it's going to be complementary. We want to do, it's called a winter white, so kind of in that lighter family, and I think the other building has a white too. And then there's going to be a metal roof on the vestibule with bronze metal accents, and there's going to be 2 lights out there with more signage, so it's going to make the entrance look much more beautiful and safer. This is a view of our floor plan. I've highlighted a lot of the areas, the significant areas where we made modification. So the big area where you see classrooms, those are infant and toddler classrooms. That used to be one big room. We've divided that into 3 to make them classrooms. We've had to modify the toilets in the classrooms on the in this picture on the top left side. We had to modify them to make them handicap accessible. We also had to eliminate no closets. Primrose does not want any child hiding or locking themselves in a closet where teachers can't see them. So all the closets were opened up, so all those spaces are now visible. We've also converted what was a library conference area into a kitchen with a walk-in pantry. We have a chef on site. She cooks all fresh meals. She does breakfast and lunch, and then 4 snacks a day, all made from scratch. And then you'll see where the star is located on this floor plan. That's where we're proposing, that's the entryway, that's where we're proposing the vestibule. On this slide, this is another site plan modification request, and these are changes to the playgrounds. So the infants, which child care licensing defines as ages under 2 years old, they require their own playground, separate and apart with direct access. No other age group can access that playground. So we've currently located the playground right outside those classrooms. It's about 1,182 square foot playground, and it is surrounded by some landscaping, as you can see in green there. And then we are also, so there's an existing almost 6,000 square foot playground. We're renovating the whole thing, replacing it with all brand new turf. We're replacing the fence. It's a brand new crash protection fence that has integrated bollards, but it's also decorative and looks like a regular fence. And we're putting all brand new playground equipment and separating the playground into different age appropriate areas. Because we are separating the playground into age appropriate areas, we also need to expand the playground. So we're asking for an additional 2,000 approximately square feet to make almost an 8,000 square foot playground. And again, same thing, you'll have the crash protection fence, the new turfing, and the new equipment. And this is part of your package, but these are the playground materials and equipment, so you can just visually see the different items that we're, these are Primrose vetted playground material equipment selections. They're vetted, they provide shade protection, and again, safe and age appropriate. On this slide, we're presenting more site plan modifications. We are modifying our handicap accessible parking due to the reconfiguration of the front entrance and the addition of the vestibule. We need to change some of the handicap parking. We're also providing new and modified pedestrian circulation, so there's more of an ability for pedestrians to get around this site safely. It's very constrained because it was developed back in the 80s, but we've worked with staff to create these pathways and walkways to the best of our ability to create more pedestrian circulation. We are also asking for a full access driveway west of the 300 building. It's my understanding the road to the north of us wasn't there at some point. It was developed later. So the way the entire shopping center was designed is it was used for the entire shopping center as an exit only. But now that there's a road there, traffic is split between entering from Southern Boulevard and entering from Seminole Palms Drive. And right now we only have exits on Seminole Palm Drive. There's only one point of access, and that point of access is blocked because with the addition of who we love, the Learning Center, there's car stacking, and you can't now ingress into that shopping plaza because of all the car stacking. So we're asking for our children, since we have appropriate drive aisle width, to allow us full access, so this way our families have a place to enter and bring their kids into school safely. And then finally, just a back out space, again, reconfiguration from the expansion of the playground. We had to change a parking space there. More site plan modifications. We're asking for a canopy on the north side of the building. You see a picture of the double doors there. That is an emergency exit, but water seems to be getting into the doors, so we want to put a little cover as canopy, and also decoratively and aesthetically, it's going to make that door a little bit nicer than the way it looks right now. We want to go back. That's a location of our flagpole, and here is wall signage for the 400 building. We want to put the Primrose School, which I'll show you in a minute here, where we want to put the Primrose School of Royal Palm Beach signage. It's where the Ideal School signage was, and then just our Primrose School logo to the right of our front entrance. So you'll see what that looks like right here. You see on the left side is the north side of the building, and on the right side here is our front entrance. And these are the elevations with the signage. So the top, you're looking at the west elevation, the middle, the east elevation, and then the north elevation in the bottom left, and the south elevation in the bottom right. This is our landscape plan. Due to all of the site plan changes, we are losing 3 trees, but we're replacing it with 10. And then we're also working with staff to existing landscaping material that's dying or not there anymore just throughout the years. We want to go ahead and replace all that so it's consistent with the prior approvals and it looks like what the prior approvals would have required. Just a quick note on parking and traffic. The required parking under the code is 57. We're providing 62 parking spaces. Also, just so you know, this is a school where there is no car stacking. We require our parents to park their vehicles and physically walk their children into the school. It's anywhere from a 6 to 10 minute interval. And also, parents don't drop off their children all at one time in the morning. We actually have a 3-hour window in the morning, 7 to 10, and a 3-hour window in the afternoon, 3 to 6. And parents are all over the place. You have some people that are dropping off at 7 a.m. and you have some people that are dropping off at 10 a.m. So you don't have the entire school coming into the facility at one time. It's very scattered throughout that 3-hour window, and everyone parks and leaves in those interval times. And then I just have a snapshot of our TPS letter. We're continuing in existing use, and we're not changing the number of students, so there's no trips generated. The traffic will always remain the same. There were 0 trips generated in this TPS letter. And also, it's important to note that child care licensing right now is only going to license us for less than the maximum required, so we're never going to even get to the maximum. So that helps with traffic as well. Okay, so now for the variance. So the variance requires this 6-foot wide pedestrian accessway on the north side of the building. And the reason for the variance request is we can provide the 6-foot sidewalk. Actually, we provide more. We're providing 7 feet for a majority of it. There's 70 feet, and we're providing a 7-foot pedestrian accessway for most of that 70 feet. We just have this 6.8 feet DDCV. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea what that was. I had to look it up. But it's a double detector check valve, and supposedly it's used to prevent backflow into the fire water distribution systems, whatever that means. But we know that when it has to do with fire and safety, we really don't want to touch it. So we opted to ask for the variance because in that portion of the pedestrian access way, it's going to reduce the sidewalk from, the required 6 down to 4.7 just for that 6.8 feet. So it's a variance for less than 10% of the entire 70 feet. And my presentation has been concluded. We addressed all of the site plan modification and variance criteria in our justification statement, so that's a part of the record. If you would like me to talk about it, I can, but figure that might be redundant, so I always offer that, but that is part of the justification. But that concludes my presentation. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Kaiser. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Start with Commissioner Williams.
For the check valve, like, are you guys gonna leave it open, or are you gonna like cover it with like a cage or something to prevent people?
Correct. Yes, we're going to put something safety. We're not going to have children. Parents don't park back there. The back parking is for staff only, so we don't have children walking in that area, but we are going to provide some sort of safety barrier around it.
I don't have any questions, Commissioner Leland.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
A lot of great upgrades.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll open the floor to public comment. Anyone online? I will close the floor to public comment. And do we have a motion on the first?
Variance 2393.
Motion made
Second.
by Commissioner McClellan. Man, you guys are faster than me now. Okay. Seconded by Commissioner Derry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We're on to the last item on the agenda. Application number 2281, SPM AAR, Primrose School. The applicant, Bar Education, Inc., is requesting a major site plan modification and architectural approval for modifications to existing parking, landscape, playground areas, and interior of the existing building at 400 Royal Commerce Road. Modifications to increase pedestrian connectivity and proposed modifications to the existing entryway and updated exterior paint colors for a property located at 300 and 400 Royal Commerce Road.
And I'll just ask the commission for any ex parte disclosures on this item. Thank you.
Josu?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Obviously, there's going to be some redundancy in terms of the presentation and the graphics, so I'll try to go through them so you guys see them. So the applicant's requesting site plan modification as well as AAR. The applicant is also requesting architectural approval for the landscape, building modifications as well as signage. You guys can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
This slide illustrates the site plan that was talked about earlier. Slide illustrates the landscape plan and the main elevations of the building, the front elevation of the building. That's the side. This is the east, west, and north elevations as well as the south elevations shown earlier. This slide illustrates some of the elements that will be architectural feature to the buildings. These are some of the playground equipment, as well as some additional site elements and details. In reviewing this application, village staff considered conformity with Chapter 26 of the Village Code of Ordinances. Specifically, the proposed project meets the requirements for the Industrial General Zoning District and Section 26-75, Planned Industrial Development, PID, as it pertains to parcel size, parcel width, setbacks, pervious area, parking requirement, landscape areas, and maximum building height. And overall, the proposed site plan improvement meet all the village requirements for this type of use within the industrial zoning district, with the exceptions of the variance for the reduction in the sidewalk. Staff recommends approval of application number 22-81, SPM AAR, and resolution number 23-41. This concludes my presentation. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kaiser, you have any additional comments?
Not if you want to do it all over again.
We're okay. Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any further comments or questions? I think it looks great. Commissioner Leland?
Be nice to see that building finally occupied and cleaned up.
Commissioner? Nope. Okay, open the floor to public comment. Anyone online? I will close the floor to public comment. Is there a motion on this item?
I move approval application 2281 SPM AAR.
Motion made by Commissioner McClellan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Leland. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Kaiser. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Have a great evening.
You too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next meeting is Tuesday, November 28th after
new
Thanksgiving. In the new building, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And Josie's bringing us some turkey, right? After Thanksgiving for that meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second? Second. Okay, thank you.